everybody. Welcome to the Energy News Beat Stand-Up Daily Show. My name's Stu Turley, President and CEO of the Sandstone Group. Man, Michael's out on assignment. We got a fantastic day for you here. I got some interesting stories that are going around the world. And I'd like to say thank you to everybody that is listening to the podcast from around the world. We're in 85 countries now, and very, very pleased with all of the feedback. So reach out, ask us questions. We want to make sure we get all of them answered. So with that, all these stories are on energynewsbeat.co or .com, and let's get ready to rumble. We're going to talk about today, why are African countries and others pushing for de-dollarization of trade in the currency other than the USD? Pretty interesting little story there. We also have, let's see here, it is climate activist forcibly dragged from event with Biden Energy Secretary Jennifer Granholm. It's actually got a embedded tweet in there, and it is really pretty funny. We'll cover that here in a sec. Next, coming around the corner is we have U.S. green energy shift, and we'll need more natural gas, the Williams CEO says. I'll tell you what, I've worked as a contractor selling things to Williams. They are a top-notch organization, bunch of good people. So, all right, let's come around the corner here to weak European industry is keeping gas demand depressed. Kind of a little interested on that one. So next one, booming population tests the Texas grid. I'm sitting here in Texas kind of worried about it. And then the last one, Blinken ruffles feathers by stating U.S. does not support Taiwan independence after meeting with President Xi. You gotta love a politician. Okay, here we go. First one coming around the corner here in New Delhi, out of New Delhi. An interview to the print, the South African High Commissioner to India spoke out against domination, the U.S. Dollar, USD in the world economy. He was not the first to question the United States USD, not just Africa. Other global leaders from developing countries have joined the call to de-dollarization of trade, which means trade to be carried out in between two countries in currencies other than the USD. BRICS is probably one of, and BRICS Plus is the biggest thing. But the number one problem that I've been even talking about, Michael has been talking about, de-dollarization is not new. India and the Soviet Union, the USSR, have been conducting trade in the ruble. India and Russia special operation in Ukraine 2022 has established the ruble trade system to avoid purview of Western sanctions in Russia. Pretty important. But in this article from the print.in, they bring it up. The critical piece for around the world is it's either going to go to the Chinese, and they're afraid of it for the same reasons that the United States weaponized the dollar. By weaponizing the dollar, the United States has brought this on ourselves. Can't get any smarter than that. Okay, as we come around the corner here, climate activist forcibly dragged from event with Biden Energy Secretary Jennifer Granholm. I mean, I got really tickled at this. Group of climate activists were forcibly removed from an event on Monday in eastern Michigan, where Energy Secretary Jennifer Granholm spoke about the Biden administration green energy. And they stood up, and you got to watch the video. No MVP, no LNG, Granholm, you're killing me. And in the video, it is really funny because they are chanting this, and then they have to stop and they huddle up and they try to, and then they start trying to go again. If you're going to be an activist, at least have your lines practiced so you can even say that one line. Anyway, you got to watch it. Anyway, you see them start rolling out after that, and they're carrying them out. It is absolutely a hoot. One of the gentlemen that comes out and looks at this is got a very thin little mustache. I can't complain. I can't poke enough fun at myself about how people look, but he is hilarious. Granholm has made her decision pretty clear. She has chosen the fossil fuel corporations and money over young people and the people of Michigan. She has chosen money and destruction over land and water in our lives. She's not with Michiganders and not with us. Let's try to all get along, as that one gentleman said from California. Why can't we all just get along? Natural gas is very important in order to get to carbon net zero or have low cost energy. You can support natural gas in the oil industry because you got to have it. It's not optional. Turn in all your phones, turn in everything, go get a tent, go live in Chicago, in San Francisco, if you don't want to use any oil. That's about the only way that I know. And then even your tent is made with oil products. The next story kind of brings this up. The U.S. green energy shift will need more natural gas, the Williams CEO says. Rising demand for electricity generated by wind and solar will create a more need for natural gas infrastructure to prevent blackouts. Williams Co.'s Alan Armstrong told the Financial Times in an interview. In his comments, it contradicts policies that aim to phase out fossil fuels such as natural gas and power grids. This is just unbelievable. Here's the quote. It's great to have renewables, and we will be able to continue to reduce emissions and the amount of gas that we burn, that fossil fuels we burn. But it does not change the need for incremental gas capacity as we electrified. That's a wonderful statement. And here's the other one. Armstrong also supports the climate activists who opposed hydrogen and carbon capture for good reasons, because plants to make hydrogen and capture the CO2 would themselves consume significant amounts of electricity. You throw electricity demand from hydrogen and carbon capture into that, you're going to way outpace your ability to build renewables. So do you want renewables? Do you want to get there? Do you want to go cold turkey? Let's have a discussion. That's what it's all about. Have a plan. And you're not going to get there without the oil and the gas. You got to have the plan. Anyway, hats off to Williams companies. Great leadership, great numbers. So let's roll over here to weak European industry is keeping gas demand depressed. I found this one fairly interesting from Bloomberg. Demand for the fuel in Germany, Italy, the Netherlands, France, Spain, and the UK fell 9.7% in May from a year earlier, according to the S&P Global Community. That means consumption is lower than levels in the past year. A lot of that is due to the drop in business, drop in manufacturing, which is a snowball for a complete disaster in their economy. So, which is it better? Use more natural gas, lose your economy, more natural gas, people starve. Or they don't, if you don't have natural gas, they starve. And don't forget, natural gas is very important in making plastics. It's also, natural gas is very, very important in making fertilizer. All right, let's go around to the next one here. Booming population tests Texas grid. This one is absolutely amazing to me. Texas is growing a lot. Our tax revenues are up. Our whole state, we are using a lot of wind. We're using a lot of solar. We use nuclear. We use coal. We use natural gas. I think we are down to one coal plant. I could be wrong on that. I'll have to go fact check myself. State Representative Brooks Landgraf, Kevin Sparks, and a utility company official from Plano says it's an uncomfortable situation. Try sitting in your house with no electricity at 108 degrees. I'm disappointed by the forecast presented in the ERCOT report, which indicates as a potential strain on our power grid and the threat of brownouts this summer. I remain committed to working closely on the state leaders, the Public Utility Commission, and ERCOT in order to minimize the threat of brownouts and ensure that our state's power grid is prepared to meet the demands of the summer. Here's where Texas is a bit different, is that the state legislature has just approved more funding for natural gas power plants. Natural gas power plants coming online means that we can keep our wind and our solar and keep those moving as best we can. Maintenance and the ability to go ahead and see about keeping the costs down. Costs in, I just saw it here a few minutes ago. Cost for power in Texas is average of, I believe, 12 cents kilowatt hour. And then you have people in California paying 27 cents. So you start taking a look at how the ERCOT Texas Energy, they're using all types of energy. They're paying half of what California is paying for energy. There's got to be something there. It's not an accident. Okay, let's go over here to the last one. This one is very concerning. Blinken ruffles feathers by stating U.S. does not support Taiwan independence after meeting with China's Xi. That one raised at least one of my eyebrows. And I'm trying to sit here and think of, this is going to send a message around the world that the United States will not stand with any of our allies. We are not trustworthy. So with that, you got to love it, and well done. And with that, we are going to have a fantastic day today, guys. Please go out, hug somebody, hug a cop, hug your spouse, hug anybody in your family, and have an absolute wonderful day. Subscribe, like, leave only 5-star reviews. And again, we thank you everyone that is listening to our podcast and giving us the wonderful support. We do appreciate you. For Michael Tanner and myself, thanks, and we'll see you again on Thursday.